Hi, I'm Diane Conklin with CompleteMarketingSystems.com. Sometimes, as you well know, I shoot considerable number of videos and do a lot of content. And sometimes, quite frankly, I get ready to do these and I have no idea what I'm going to talk to you about. But I want to provide you great information. And so today was one of those times. And it occurred to me that one of the things that happens to us in business, whether you've been in business just a few short years or whether, like me, you've been in business for sort of a long time, right? 15, 20 years. I think the big challenge as a business owner is to keep changing, right? It's so easy. I think about this a lot now because things have changed so much in the 17 years I've been in business. But I think about this a lot. Like, if you don't keep changing, then nothing changes, right? If you don't keep up with things, things get stagnant and your business potentially starts to decline. It starts to go south, if you will. It starts to not be as much fun. It starts to get humdrum. And I'm in a phase right now, how's this for transparency, where I'm sort of there, right? It's at a point where it's time to change some things up and do some things differently, because as things change, we have to do things differently. That might sound so obvious, and it is, but in some ways it's so easy to get sort of comfortable, right? Sort of stuck in to doing things the way you've always done them. Well, we've always done email sequences for this, or we've always done X to fill our event. Well, why is the event at half of what we want it to be at? Well, because you haven't done anything different this time, right? Things change. Competition increases. People borrow your ideas, right? And so all of a sudden, when you might have been the only one doing a certain thing or a certain kind of event, or had the first course on social media, for example, is a great example. How many people now have social media, or teaching you how to do social media kinds of things? A lot. A few years ago, there weren't many, so there wasn't much competition. So you have to constantly be looking at changing. Now, to me, I think it's one of the most exciting things about being in business is how do we continue to change and continue to uptick and keep trending upward in our businesses so that things don't fall off and so things don't get boring and that we don't get sort of in that spot of complacency or comfortable, if you will. And so I want to challenge you today to keep changing, keep looking at not big, massive changes, but what little small tweaks can you make today that will affect what you're doing? Email's another great example. Open rates are down, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I hope you are too, and here's why. As I keep my stuff separate, right? So my business stuff goes to one email, my personal things that I want to look at, e-zines, those kinds of things go to a different email. As I opened it this morning and realized I had 70-something messages just today, and I range anywhere from about 70 to 120 a day. That doesn't even include the business stuff that I'm getting. It truly is overwhelming. So how do you stand out in that? How do you get people's attention when, I got 6 emails promoting the same guy's thing, right? I really want you to think about what's coming next. What's the next thing that's going to change that piece? Maybe we should be doing direct mail in addition to our online stuff, right? All kinds of things, but nothing changes unless we do. And I don't think it's ever been truer, and I think it's more true, it's going to continue to be more true, right? A few years ago, we used cell phones to talk on and to text. Today, people use them for banking transaction and to buy your products and services, to come to your events. Phones are getting bigger again instead of smaller because we're doing more things on them. They're not really even phones anymore. Very rarely do we talk, right? So I want you to really keep that in mind. And I would love to know what you're doing to change things up. One of the things that you might want to do to change things up is come to Atlanta November 7th, 8th, and 9th for the Implementation Coaching Event. If you go to implementationcoachingevent.com, All the details are there. We're going to talk about how do you differentiate and stay balanced in your life and in your business. How do you stand out in this flood of other people who are doing similar things? And we're going to actually do those things so that when you leave, you can stand out. I'd love to see you there. I'm Diane Conklin with CompleteMarketingSystems.com.